If you were a Jaime Munguia fan, you had to feel pretty good about this one after 3 rounds. I mean, Larry Hazard's unofficial card had him up 2 rounds to 1, and he was looking good. He looked better than I had ever seen him. His punches looked fast, crisp, combos were coming off fluid. I mean, he was working well behind the jab. Higher work rate than Canelo. He was doing exactly what he had to do. He was being the younger, bigger, fresher man. Through the first 3 rounds, he was fighting the fight that he needed to. Like, if he was going to give himself a chance to win, this was exactly the type of fight that he needed to go out to do. Don't get me wrong. It's not like Canelo was over there getting overwhelmed or anything like that. He was landing clean shots of his own. But the story of the first 3 rounds was how sharp Munguia looked. But all good things come to an end, man. And the end for Munguia, his Cinderella story, it all started crashing at the end of the fourth. I mean, Munguia gets Canelo up against the ropes, catches him with a big right hand, and he starts to try to pour it on here. And he stays in the pocket. He's throwing more shots, and Canelo catches him with a big right hand. Munguia doesn't back out, sticks right in there, doesn't clinch, and then Canelo lands this beautiful combination. And I love this work here, right? This left hook, and it pushes Munguia into the right uppercut. It's just such a great setup. This left hook not only moves him into the shot, it takes his attention away. I mean, what can I say? It's great stuff from Canelo. It's not just going out there trying to throw a hard punch and land it. Drops him, hurts him, and ultimately, that was the moment that the fight changed. Canelo, I mean, for the rest of the fight, he lost maybe, 1 round after that? I mean, Munguia had some good moments, landed some good shots in the 9th, came out strong in the 12th, but that knockdown was really the end of the night for him. I mean, and I hate to say this, but the truth is, if Canelo was younger, he probably would have got the stoppage tonight. He dropped Munguia, had him hurt to the body later in the fight. He was doing what he wanted to do for the most part out there. He dominated the fight, but he just didn't turn it up. He just didn't get the stoppage, even though he was in complete control. And that's the thing. Canelo, even though he's not at his peak anymore, he has what it takes to dominate a fighter like Munguia after the 3rd round. And don't get me wrong, Munguia was still doing a lot out there. It's not like he was just in survival mode, but when you watch a lot of these flurries he was throwing, the majority of those shots wouldn't even land. I mean, Canelo could see him coming, he's blocking him, he's slipping a few, he's countering to the body, he's stepping back. He is slick, he's crafty. You got to tip your hat to the man. And I really want to point it out here. I think there's this sequence in the 7th round that really shows the overall feeling of what I mean. Munguia starts to throw, backs Canelo up against the ropes, and he's trying to rattle these punches off. Crowd's starting to get worked up. But when you look at it, when you pay attention, Canelo he's so calm, he's so cool. He's making defensive movements with every single punch. He's reacting to every single one. So the majority of them aren't even landing. But if one even does, it's not even a clean punch. But when he answers, that's clean. When he comes back with his own shots, he doesn't throw too many, but the ones that he throws are hard and they land. After that 3rd round, Munguia's jab wasn't effective anymore because Canelo's starting to jab with him, and he's countering Munguia's jab, taking it away. And look, once Canelo starts to make Munguia's jab less effective, then all of a sudden he can't manage the distance quite as well, and it all just starts to fit together, right? All starts to slowly snowball, all starts to slowly unravel. And even though it didn't feel like it was a one-sided beatdown or anything like that, it did feel like Canelo was completely in control. You always felt like he was the ring general out there. So overall, end of the day, all said and done, honestly, I think it was a good showing for both men, right? And why do I say that? One, because Canelo did what he was supposed to do. He looked sharp. He turned back an incredibly motivated young challenger, got the win, stays in the driver's seat just like he always is. People are talking about Benavidez. He's telling them, hey, if the money's right, obviously he got paid for this fight. You want to pay me for that fight? We can make this happen. We'll see how that all goes. But Munguia, on the other hand, he gets his first loss, but he's the younger man. Okay, Canelo was in this position. We saw him get schooled when he lost to Floyd Mayweather. He came back. He was better. He was stronger. Munguia has the opportunity to do the same thing. He's still young. He's still progressing. That's the thing. We haven't seen him peak yet. He came out here tonight. We've been seeing him build fight after fight, and we saw him come out here tonight. He looked better than ever. He looked sharper than ever. If he takes this fight, he learns from it. He takes everything from it, and he continues to grow, man. He still has the opportunity to come back and be even better yet. Now, will that happen? I mean, that remains to be seen. We've seen fighters go both ways with it. But if this man stays motivated, he doesn't let it get to his head, he gets back in the gym, he just takes this as a learning opportunity, He has the potential to show great things in the future. I really like the way that he looked, even though this was a losing effort. So it'll be interesting to see how he rebounds from this whole thing. You could tell in the post-fight interview that he was taking it kind of hard, but I get it. Not only was it the first loss, it was the first loss, and it was a fight that through the first 3 rounds, he had to be feeling amazing out there. Like, wow, the plan is working. This is looking good. And then all of a sudden, it all just starts to unravel in front of his eyes, right? Like sand running through his fingers. So let me know what you guys think. Were you impressed with the performance that Canelo put on? Were you impressed with the way Munguia looked? And what do you think is going to be next for each man?